Riverview in 10 minutes.
Don't hurry on my account.
Oh, come on, Gus. It can't be that bad.
Look, I was ace photographer on the magazine when that boy editor was still chasing copy. Some gall sending me on an assignment like this. Mr. Average American of the Year.
No, it should make a good picture story.
Any kid with a toy camera could do it. Why does he send me?
What does George Morgan do?
He runs a diner down there. I don't know.
How come your editor picked him as average American?
I don't know why. He probably did just to put me in the doghouse. That's why.
Oh, come on, Gus. You know, I think this could be an advancement for you.
Oh, funny. Very, very funny. Morning. It's the first time we've ever had customers drop in on us this way. We're not here for the blue plate. We're here on business. Business? Yeah, I'm Gus Williams from World Magazine. I want to take some shots of George Morgan. You him? What? I just told you, didn't I? Want to take some shots, you know, like look at a birdie.
What Mr. Williams means is that he's doing a picture story on Mr. Average American of the Year, and his editor's picked...
I think I can handle this, Chuck.
I was just trying to help.
Too late. I'm already on this assignment. You Morgan, or aren't you? A picture story in a magazine? Well, it ain't for the encyclopedia. Are you this Morgan character, or aren't you?
No, I just work here for George. It's his day off.
Oh, fine. Where does he live?
Well, do you know where Fairmont Avenue is?
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, we do.
Well, George lives at 982 Fairmont. It's the last house on the street.
Fine, thank you. You coming, Gus?
Yeah, I'm coming, but I'm liking it less and less. Do me a favor, will you, pal? Please don't say you never had anybody drop in on you that way. I gotta get some shots here. Now, so let's get started, eh?
Just a minute.
Look, the first shot we'll take is you with the lawnmower. That ought to be average enough.
Wait, what's this about? Who sent you?
Your pal from the diner.
Diner?
Yeah.
Oh, you want George Morgan?
Yeah, that's right, George.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll just stand
Well, I'm not George Morgan.
You're not?
No, somebody's playing a joke on you, I'm afraid. George lives on Maple Street. That's all the way across town.
Thanks, pal. Guys, stay here, will you? If this turns out to be another gag, I don't want to be stopped from killing somebody.
Yes?
Now, don't tell me this isn't the Morgan house.
Yes, it is.
You Mrs. Morgan? Mrs. George Morgan?
Yes?
Okay, you're lucky.
Beg your pardon?
Tell your husband I'd like to see him.
Oh, well, what is it about?
Look, lady, just tell your husband I'd like to see him.
Oh, well, George isn't home.
So I'll wait.
Well, he won't be back for 2 days. He just left. Drove off about a half an hour ago for Ferndale. Is there any message?
Yes. Just tell him it figures.
What?
Skip it.
What now? Honestly, P.T., I'm afraid to ask.
Let's go back to the city.
What happened?
Don't ask.
They're gone, George.
Hey, wait a minute, P.T. Run back over that house, will you?
Well, I said I had it, didn't I?
No, but look at that car down there. Same one that was at the diner, isn't it? That's funny.
Only this time the joke's not going to be on me. Now listen, P.T., can you park about 2 blocks away from my house?
Yeah, we'll find a place.
George. George, what is this about?
Oh, look, honey, you don't have to worry.
But you still haven't told me the reason.
Well, I told you he's a photographer for World Magazine. He just wanted to take some pictures of me.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, I'd just rather not, that's all.
Oh, well, that's no reason to hide. To have me tell him you went away.
Well, you don't understand newspaper people, Ruth. Believe me, it's much better this way.
Oh, I still don't understand. You haven't anything to hide, anything to be ashamed of.
Well, who said I did?
Well, you're acting.
Will you let me handle my business my own way? Will you please? Oh, Ruth, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you.
It's all right, George. I just never saw you act this way before. Look, I don't see anything so terribly wrong in having your picture taken for a magazine. Personally, I'd be very proud.
And you're not proud now, huh?
Oh, darling, you know I didn't mean that. There's no one in Riverview better liked than my husband.
Well, then no one likes Riverview better than your husband. Now, look, honey, I came here 8 years ago looking for peace and quiet. I met you and we got married. Riverview's given me everything I want. And I walk down the street and I get a smile and a big hello from everybody. You lead a nice, respectable life. I just want to be part of the town. I don't want any special attention paid to me. Now, if there was a story and pictures in the magazine, it would all be different. I'd be set apart from the others, you know? Everything would be spoiled. Can you understand that, Ruth?
Darling, I've never been more proud of you than I am this minute.
George Morgan? Oh, another one, Mr. Morgan. Average American.
Where did you come from?
You know, you're not the only one that can play hide and seek. Now, hold it right there.
You're not taking any pictures of me.
Sure. I said no pictures! Remember what I said.
Get back in the house, Ruth. And you get out of here before I have you arrested for trespassing. Now pick that stuff up and get out.
George,
I told you to get back in the house.
honey, how could you do a thing like that?
It's none of your business.
None of my... George, what is it? What's really bothering you?
Nothing. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Boy, talk about doghouse. You're really in one now.
This is my way out. When a guy goes through that much trouble not to have his picture taken, I smell a real story.
You mean you think he's hiding something?
Yep. I'm going to find out what it is as soon as I get a print of him.
You lost your chance when he wrecked your camera.
I've been in this business too long not to protect my shop. He got my camera, but I got his picture. So step on it, P.T. I'm in a hurry to check up on our Mr. Average American of the Year.
Morning. Hi, Gus. Well, what'd you find out?
One line on George Morgan, huh?
Well, this is it. Look. Here's a shot I took of Morgan yesterday. And here's a shot of George Meacham. George Meacham?
Yeah.
Oh, looks just like Morgan, only much younger.
Sure it does. It is Morgan. The way he looked 20 years ago, just before he was sent up for armed robbery and manslaughter.
Manslaughter?
Polite word for murder. Meacham had a smart lawyer. He got him off with a 15-year sentence. He was paroled 10 years ago. You can figure out the rest.
Changed his name and settled in a place he wasn't known, huh?
No wonder he didn't want his picture in a magazine.
That editor sent me on a doghouse assignment. Well, I'm coming back with a story that'll knock him on his ear. The story of what happens to a murderer after he's been free. How his neighbors feel about him.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Gus. You can't do that. He's already paid his debt once.
Sure, everybody deserves a second chance.
Oh, come on now. Now, look, I'm sorry to do. You guys got a copter to fly. Let's each tend to his own job, huh? Riverview soon, huh?
That's right, Gus. Too soon.
Look, I'm just doing a job.
Oh, you're not just doing a job. You want to get back at your editor, so an innocent man pays the price.
How do you know how innocent he is?
Oh, don't get cool. Tell me once a criminal, always a criminal.
Gus, did it ever occur to you that maybe Morgan's wife doesn't even know about his past?
Ruth, will you please stop asking me questions?
Well, then why don't you answer me, George? Whatever it is, I'll understand.
Look, it's nothing.
But the way you acted yesterday with that photographer, so violent.
Well, I lost my temper. Did a man lose his temper once in a while? Look, I've got to get to work.
George.
What is it?
This. Honey, everything is all right.
Yes, dear. Everything's all right now.
Hold that, Mr. Ferris. Thank you.
So this is for the World magazine, huh?
That's right, a picture layout of Riverview, the average American town. I suppose you know everybody in town, huh?
Just about everybody.
Does that include George Morgan?
George, he's one of our best people.
First-class citizen, huh?
Like I said, the best. Whenever there's trouble, George is right on the spot, ready to help.
You don't say.
I certainly do. Now, you look how good George has been to Harry Rudley since Harry's wife was murdered last month during that robbery.
Murdered?
Terrible thing. This man broke into the Rudley's house while Harry was out of town.
Catch the killer?
No, they didn't. Not yet.
Who it is?
Well, Frank Hendricks is the only witness. He lives next door to the Rudleys. Frank heard the shot. When he rushed out there, he saw a man run through the bushes and disappear. Frank didn't get too good a look because it was dark. Sheriff Warren's still working on the case, though.
Where's the sheriff's office?
Over in Southport.
Come on, boys.
Wait a minute. You were asking me about George Morgan.
You told me everything I want to know. Thanks.
Hello, operator. Get me George Morgan. Gus, there's still not enough reason to do this.
Not enough. Robbery and murder, the same kind of crime.
20 years later.
And there's absolutely nothing to prove that Morgan's involved.
Suppose you let the sheriff decide this.
I know how you feel, Harry. But you know I haven't got too much to work on. Just Frank Hendricks' statement.
Well, then question Frank again. Maybe he can give you a better description of the man.
I've been over it with Frank 100 times and...
Sheriff, I'm Gus Williams from World Magazine. This is Mr. Martin and Mr. Moore, the helicopter pilot that flew me up here.
What is it about, Mr. Williams?
The Rudley case.
What about it?
This is Harry Rudley, the murdered woman's husband.
Well, then I guess you ought to hear what I have to say, too. It's about George Morgan.
Brooke?
George. What is it, darling? What's the matter?
There's something I want to tell you, Ruth. I guess I should have told you a long time ago.
What?
Come on, sit down.
No answer at the diner.
Why don't you call his house? He may have gone home.
No, I'd better go over in person.
Sure. If you want to get there fast, we'll take you up in the copter.
Thanks.
Sheriff, he was so nice to me after it happened. It's hard to believe.
Harry, as far as I'm concerned, George Morgan is innocent until proven otherwise. So you go on home till I settle this thing.
And that's why I didn't want my pictures to appear in that magazine. For fear that somebody would remember who I was and what I was.
Darling, you could have told me. I wouldn't have loved you any less.
And what about the other people in this town?
Well, they like you for what you are now.
Yeah, but you forget that there was a murder and a robbery last month. That Margaret Rudley's murder is still unsolved.
That has nothing to do with you.
Hasn't it? Boy, when they find out what I was, who do you think they're going to try and pin it on?
But you're innocent, aren't you?
You see? Even you have to put it as a question now.
Oh, no, darling.
Even you
what
have
do you mean?
doubts about me.
No, George, no.
And if you're not sure of me, how can I be sure about anybody?
I am sure, darling, I am. Believe that, please.
Why won't people let a man be what he is and not what he was?
Give them a chance, George. Just give them a chance and you'll see that they're on your side. Where are you going?
I'm taking my own chances my own way. I'm going to make sure that nobody pins the Rudley murder on me.
Wait here. Yeah, but I brought this story to you. There ain't any story yet, so wait here. Well, are you happy?
Moderately.
Where did George go, Mrs. Morgan?
I don't know.
Mrs. Morgan, I'm going to have to tell you some things about your husband.
There's nothing you can tell me about George that I don't already know.
Well, then you see, he hasn't helped himself by running away.
Run away. He just went for a drive.
I still want to ask him some questions.
Sheriff, Frank Hendricks saw the murderer run off. If he looked anything like George, Frank would have told you.
I think I better have another talk with Frank. Mind if I use your phone?
No. Hello?
Mrs. Hendricks, this is Sheriff Warren.
Oh, yes, Sheriff.
I'd like to speak to Frank.
Well, he's not here right now. In fact, he won't be home until tomorrow.
He's gone up to the cabin on a hunting trip. It's funny you should call.
What do you mean?
George Morgan wanted to talk to Frank, too.
He called about 15 minutes ago.
But you told him where Frank was.
Yes, I did.
Frank alone at the cabin?
Yes. What?
Nothing, Mrs. Hendricks. Nothing at all. Sorry to bother you.
Where?
Frank Hendricks' cabin up in the woods.
What's happening, Sheriff?
Could be murder. Frank's cabin is over that rise to the west.
are two cars. And one of them is George Morgan's.
Get down there and fast. Going there. Let's try circling over the woods.
Right.
That's Frank there.
There's someone else over there.
I thought.
I know, Gus. We all did.
He killed his own wife.
He thought by killing the only witness, Frank Hendricks, he could put the blame on you.
He almost did. I came up here just to be sure that Frank didn't think I was the man he saw running away that night. It's funny the tricks of fate, how much chance plays.
Like my assignment to take pictures of you.
Well, I'm glad that's all over. I don't have to live in fear anymore of anybody finding out about me. It's all out in the open. So if you want to go ahead and take pictures, take all you want.
That's up to you, Mr. Average American.
Average, Gus? Average?
Okay, so this is my day for mistakes.